This playthrough is rated M for mature.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with more Hakuōki, Stories of the Shinsengumi for the PS3. Last time we were set up, the Shinsengumi found out about like a secret merchant who they are secretly spying on, but our main character put him out in the open, and now they've had to like raid some Chozu. Oh, it's a bit. Yeah, I'm not even full. I don't even know the full details. But right now we're in the middle of a raid, and some bad stuff's happening. Our main protagonist has to go in and do something about it. So let's see if she does what she needs to do. Let's find out. Inside, it was pitch black. The smell of fresh blood hit me in the stomach like a fist. The air reeked of it. There were dark lumps on the floor everywhere, the bodies of fallen men. Where were Ikeda and Hisuke? It sounded like a good idea at the time, but as I look around that carnal house, I realized that there was no way I could possibly carry two men outside. I have to choose. Alright, here we go. We have another choice option here, so we can either look for Ikeda or Hisuke. Now, if I was trying to go for the Hisuke ending, I would just obviously choose Hisuke, but we're doing random, folks, so I'm going to pull up my dice box here and roll it and find out. Let's see. I don't know if you heard that. Alright, so like before, the top version is even and the bottom one is odd. I've rolled a 1, so we are gonna, I guess we're going with the Hisuke ending. So alright, let's look for Hisuke. I had to go look for Hisuke. He was always looking after me, so it was time I returned the favor. I looked around the inn. What? Out of the darkness, a Ronin appeared, his sword at the ready, and headed straight for me. Ah! As the sword swept down, another interposed itself between us, Nagakura's blade. You're fighting me, pal. You don't get to run off unless I say you can. The Ronin's yell ended in a wet gurgle as Nagakura's sword drove itself deep into the man's stomach. Blood exploded everywhere. Ugh. I felt my gorge suddenly rise. Blood was still too much for me. Sorry to ask you this right now, but Hisuke's in the back. Could you go get him? I opened my mouth to respond, but... Nagakura, your hand. His left hand was drenched in bright crimson blood. It looked as if a good portion of it was simply gone. It looks awful. Nagakura glanced down at it and laughed. That? Ha! Didn't even know I had it. I'm fine. Alright. Doesn't even hurt. Stop making that face. But... Nobody's getting past me, so you can take care of Hisuke, alright? I'm counting on you. With that, he turned around and brought his blade up to meet that of another Ronin. I was worried about Nagakura, but I knew standing around wasn't going to help him. Hisuke, on the other hand. I turned and ran off through the battlefield. The Ikeda Inn had become... It wasn't long before I saw him. Hisuke! You're hurt. He blinked and looked around, almost if he couldn't see me. Perhaps it was all the blood running into his eyes from the wound on his forehead. Baga! Sorry, I had to get my, Hinata! God damn it, what the hell are you doing here? I couldn't see his chest heaving as each breath was an effort for him. What do you mean? I'm here because I was worried about you. I thought maybe I could help. Baka! Well, you can't. This is dangerous and that was stupid. This is not a good time to be worrying about me. Maybe, but that's a serious injury. Nah, it's nothing. I just walk it off. Does it feel better already? As he spoke, he turned around, his sword held in a ready position, prepared to defend me. But he was so weak I could see that he only kept his grip on it with great effort. The Ronin across from us on the hand was as silent and calm as a great statue. Wait. There was something didn't seem right. Suddenly, I realized what it was. The Ronin had no sword. I didn't have the time to try and figure out what that meant, though. I had to... Okay, so I can either stop Hisuke or help Hisuke. Alright, here we go again. Top is even, bottom is odd. Alright, I got odd again, so help Hisuke. We had to do something against the Ronin. With grim determination, I laid my hand on the hilt of my sword. He saw me move, and Hisuke's eyes went wide. I'll fight too, then. I might not be able to help much, but I can watch your back. He looked stunned for a second, and then his mouth split in a grin. Yeah, it definitely sounds like my random rolling is getting me to Hisuke. I didn't even realize it. Like, I thought I was going to get, like, the generic no person ending, but I'm kind of surprised the random rolling is just pulling this out. So, anyway. Right. So you're supposed to become my eyes or something. Come on, that'd take like 5 years at least. It wasn't really the answer I'd expect to hear, and I couldn't help but laugh at it. The Ronin looked at us and sighed. I have no reason to fight you. What? What did he mean? What did he mean? If you leave, then I do not intend to take your lives. Then he was letting us go? Considering the fix we were in, that was quite a favor. But can I believe him? Wait, we can't let you go. Anyone who's with the Chosu is... Hisuke wobbled. Hisuke! He could barely stand. You assume too much. I am not one of the Choshu. Then why the hell are you at Ikeda? His words were forced, as if it took all of his effort to speak, and the tip of his sword was beginning to shake. He wasn't scared, of course, but his injuries were great. Even the most powerful swordsman was still only a man. The Ronin took one last unreadable look at us, and then turned around to leave. Get back here, god damn it! Hisuke! He began to run after the Ronin, but planted his foot in a pool of fresh blood and crashed to the floor. Damn it! Damn it! This isn't over! Just you wait until you're gonna... He made a few more grunts that sounded like attempts at further curses, then stumbled and collapsed, unconscious. I need to stop the bleeding. Quickly, I tore off a section on my sleeve and pressed it against his forehead. It looked as though the blow had only torn the skin, although it had gone all the way through to his skull. At last, I felt myself relax. We were still in danger, but Hisuke's wounds didn't look fatal. That was when I saw the head guard lying on the floor. Head guard. A simple piece of armor to protect the head. It is a sheet of metal attached to a cloth headband. Huh? It must have been Hisuke's, but it has been cracked cleanly in half by something. Their fight must have been awfully intense. I was starting to feel a little dizzy from the stench of so much blood, but Hisuke needed my help. I couldn't give up. And then the sun came up. The raid itself had lasted only 2 hours, but for me at least, it had felt far longer. There had been 20 Imperial Nationalists at the Ikeda Inn, and the Shinsengumi had killed 7 Ronin and injured 4 more. I learned later that with the help of the Aizu Domain and the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they had arrested 23 people. Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner A shogunate administrator whose role was to oversee the daimyo, settle law disputes, and supervise the city. The position was occupied by Sadaki Matsudara during this time period. The owner of the Ikeda had also been arrested for trying to help the Chosu rebels escape. The Shinsengumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against superior numbers in enemy territory, but they had paid dearly for it. Ikeda had taken a blow to the chest and lost unconsciousness. Kisuke had been cut on the forehead, and the bleeding refused to stop. Nagakura had injured his left hand. One of the Shinsengumi soldiers had lost his life at the interior entrance, and the two others had been severely injured there as well. It didn't seem like they would survive. The Kyoto military and judiciary commissioners run by the Aizu and Kawana domains, respectively, had also fought the Chosu Ronin. Kyoto military commissioner, a position to which one was appointed by the shogunate. The person holding this office was tasked with keeping peace in the cities of Kyoto. It was occupied at one point by the Katamori Matsudara of the Aizu domain, and Kawana domain. Domain governed by Sadaki Matsudara, the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner. I don't know why I keep messing that up. With their successful resolution of the Battle of Ikeda Inn, the Shinsengumi had at least made a name for themselves. Wait, I thought they had made a name for themselves for being never mind. Battle of Ikeda Inn. The incident where the Shinsengumi troops raided the Ikeda Inn to halt a plot to kidnap the emperor and burn the city of Kyoto. It looked as though the peace in Kyoto had been protected. Never could have imagined what the ultimate result of their victory at the Ikeda Inn would be. August 1864. 2 months later. Oh wait, no, that'd be a month later. Never mind. My bad. After the fight at the end, I was able to leave the compound much more often. I suppose after what I'd done, Hijikata thought I'd earned a little more trust. I didn't feel like I did anything that extraordinary, but I wasn't about to look a gift horse in the mouth. On this particular day, I was out on patrol with Harada in the 10th Division. Excuse me, Harada. The Shinsengumi is out patrolling day and night, right? But what exactly is it that you do? Most of the men of the Shinsengumi were intimidating, death-dealing tyrants, but Harada was a rare exception, warm and friendly. Well, I guess we do just about everything. Obviously, we arrest people who decide they want to test out their swords on the townsfolk, and we go after people who steal, but don't pay for their food. Sometimes we break up fights. People who don't pay for their food. And then there's those chumps who think they can make a living on the merchants. We take care of all of that. It wasn't really the answer I'd expected. Most of the stuff they did wasn't nearly as dramatic as I thought. As I thought back, I remember how exactly they'd all been when they were preparing for the raid on the Ikeda Inn. Now I understand why. What they had done at the inn was a good deal more intense than their day-to-day work. A little further down the road, a couple men in Shinsengumi blues were waving at us. Nakakura! Our separate rounds had brought us to the same spot. Yo! Hey there, Hinata! Sorry, I didn't know what I thought you stopped. Hey there, Hinata, find anything out about your dad? I shook my head. No, nothing today. Ah, come on, cheer up. There's always tomorrow, right? Yeah, you're right. There was something contagious about his optimism. Well, Senpachi, you find anything exciting? Nah, nothing in particular, but, well, with all the people on the street are acting, street are acting busy, you know? I hadn't noticed it before, but he was right. They were acting strange, almost nervous. Yeah, it looks like they're getting ready to move. Harada nodded. You think maybe they're worried about getting caught in the middle of a war? What? War? There wasn't a war, was there?
長州の奴らが京に集まってきてんだよ。その関係で俺らも警戒強化中ってわけだ。
Oh, you didn't hear? Well, those Chosu bastards are showing up around Kyoto again. That's why we've got extra watches these days.
池田屋の件で長州を怒らせちまったからな。仲間から犠牲が出れば黙ってられないだろう。
Well, we did give him a bit of a bloody nose at Ikeda. I can't imagine they just stand around with some of the guys in the ground. Were the Chosu going to try something again? The Shinsengumi were doing the best to keep order in Kyoto. In fact, they'd saved the city from the rebellious plans of the Chosu once before with their victory at Ikeda Inn. But even after all they had done, the people of Kyoto looked at the Shinsengumi with fear and distrust, and plenty of them still sided with the Chosu. The Shinsengumi were better regarded now than they had been before Ikeda, but even so. I told Nakakura as much, but he only laughed.
今日の人間は爆嫌いだから仕方ねって。
Not much we could do about that. Kyoto hates the Shogun.
どちらにせよ、俺たちは俺たちの仕事をする。長州の連中が京に来ても追い返すだけさ。
It doesn't matter anyway. Let's just do our jobs. The Chosu attack Kyoto. We drive them back. Simple. They accepted their situation and never complained. I had a good deal of respect for Harada and Nagakura.
対長州か。もしかすると近いうちに上から出動命令が出るかもしれねえな。
If they don't back off soon, we're probably gonna get new orders all the way from the top. For the Shinsengumi, the top meant the Aizu domain. It's that serious, huh? Harada gave a bark of laughter and nodded.
そんな機会めったにないだろうな。せっかくだからお前も出てみるか?
Well, chances like this only come around every so often. Who knows when the next one will be? Want to join us? What? Join? Did he mean for me to join the Shinsengumi and march to war with them? I couldn't imagine joining him would be as simple as saying, yes, please. Besides, it seemed rather inappropriate for me to ask to participate just so I could satisfy my curiosity. Still, I did want very much to help in some way. Could I perhaps do something like I'd done at the Ikeda Inn? Even if I could, though, I was terribly frightened of being anywhere near a battle. On the other hand, the men who had been injured at Ikeda were still out of commission. Alright, so want to come or stay behind? We're going to do it again, so here we go. See if we can hear that lovely rolling sound. Alright, we got an even, so I will stay behind. I'll stay behind. The last thing I wanted to be was in the way. Besides, how could I justify participating when I wasn't even a true member of the Shinsengumi? A few days passed. Your medicine's ready. The tray I was carrying held medicine and some hot sake. The medicine was Ishida medicinal powder, which was manufactured by Hijikata's family. Ishida medicinal powder. A powdered medicine that was manufactured and sold with the family of the Chosu Hijikata. It claimed to have a positive effect on bone settings, bruises, muscular pain, and minor cuts.
宗司と平助に渡してやってくれ。それから三男さんにもだ。
Give that to Suji and Heisuke, and Sanin while you're at it. Sanin's eyebrows rose at the mention of his name.
おや、私も飲むんですか。私の傷はもう塞がっていますよ。
Oh, do you really think I need this? My injuries have already healed.
試してみましょうよ、三男さん。この薬って何にでも効くらしいですから。
Just give it a shot, Sanin. They say this stuff works on just about anything. Sanin rolled his eyes, but reached over to take his portion of medicine, sake. He had been telling the truth, though. His injuries had healed, at least as much as they were going to, but his arm still refused to work properly. It was slowly becoming clear that it would probably never work properly again.
石田三役は熱燗で飲むのが粋だよな。羨ましいぞ、お前ら。
Man, that Ishida power with hot sake is the best. I'm so jealous of you guys.
羨ましいなら飲めばいいじゃん。新八さんだって本当は怪我人だろ。
Then why don't you have some? You're still hurt, aren't you? I was doing my Irish voice there. Nagakura had been injured at the Ikeda Inn, but he recently declared that he was completely healed, despite the fact that his wound still looked rather painful. Nonetheless, he continued his normal training and even went on his rounds every day. I'd heard he convinced Hijikata that his wounds weren't as bad as Okuda's or Hisuke's.
しかし東堂君と沖田君が怪我して帰ってくるとはな。
I never would have thought that Todo or Okita would return from a fight injured.
あれは池田屋が暗かったから普段の戦いなら遅れを取らないって。
That's only because it's so dark in there. It wasn't a fair fight, okay?
横合いから急に殴られたんだよ。おかげで八金なんて真っ二つだしさ。
He came out of nowhere and broke my head guard right in half.
拳で八金を割るか。随分と豪気なやつがいるもんだ。
You split it in half by just punching it? That's pretty damn impressive. Hisuke muttered something angry and unpleasant under his breath, but Harada just laughed.
他に掃除から逃げ切ったやつもいたしな。
I heard one of them got away from you, Okita. Okita only smiled quietly as Nagakura gestured toward him.
次があれば勝つの
It
は
won't happen again. Sorry, didn't mean to ruin his thing. Before long, they were all sharing their stories of what had happened at the Ikeda Inn, with their exploits increasing as the sake decreased. Only Saito remained silent. Is there something bothering you? I kept my voice low so as not to interrupt any of the other men in their conversation.
宗次らを負傷させるほどの実力者があの夜池田屋にいた理由を考えていた。
I've been thinking, why were their men strong enough to defeat Soji at Ikeda?
長州のものではないと言ったそうだが、池田屋も人払いはしていたはずだ。
They claim not to be members of the Chozu, but I've no doubt the proprietors of the inn would have allowed just anyone at that inn. Oh. I hadn't thought about it before, but he was right. The Chozu were having a secret meeting, then of course they'd want to have someone watch them who came and went.
池田屋の人間と老師たちの目を盗み、何らかの目的で侵入したのだろう。
If they entered undetected, it begs the question of how, in addition to why. Was he suggesting that perhaps they'd infiltrated the inn long before the Shinsengumi arrived?
今確実にわかるのは、奴らが相当の実力者だということだけだ。
I suppose all we know for sure is that these two men are possessed of impressive strength and skill. No sooner had Saito finished speaking than the door slid open and Kondo appeared.
会津藩から伝令が届いた。
We've received orders for the Aizu domain. All conversation immediately ceased, and all eyes turned towards Kondo.
長州の襲撃に備え、我ら新選組も出陣するよう仰せだ。
In preparation for a Chozu attack, the Shinsengumi had been ordered to the front. A cheer went up from everyone present.
ついに来たか。待ちかねたぜ。
Finally, it's about goddamn time.
残念だったな、平介。怪我人はさすがに不参加だろう。
Too bad for you, Hisuke. Can't go and fight if you're injured, can you?
でもせっかくの晴れ舞台じゃん。
What? Come on, that's different. He turned to Hijikata, clearly hoping that the commander might give him special leave to go.
不参加に決まってんだろう。おとなしく屯所の守備につきやがれ。
No, it's not. You'll stay here and guard our headquarters. His tone was as cold and final as a steel door slamming shut. Whoop. I did not mean to press an extra button there. Wow. You're a real monster, Hijikata, you know that? A demon. Is he truly a demon? And what will happen to the Shinsengumi when they go in the front lines? And what will happen to the main protagonist saying she doesn't want to be a part of all this action? Find out on the next episode of Hakuōki, Stories of the Shinsengumi. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode.